Okay, let's dive in. There really is something special about long train trips across the U.S., isn't there?
Oh, absolutely. That feeling of watching the landscape change, the rhythm, it's just different.
Totally. A whole different way to travel. But, if it's your first really long Amtrak ride, like multiple days, and you're in coach, you might be wondering, how do you actually make that comfortable?
Yeah, that's the key question. It's not like just hopping on a commuter train. There's definitely like a knack to settling in for the long haul without a private room.
And that's exactly what we're getting into today. We've got some fantastic tips from someone who's spent, get this, hundreds of hours on Amtrak, over 25 long-haul trips.
Wow. Yeah, they've clearly learned a thing or two. Probably the hard way sometimes.
Exactly. Trial and error. So our mission for this deep dive is to unpack all that hard-won wisdom, pull out the best shortcuts so you can skip the rookie mistakes, and actually maybe even really enjoy that first big trip.
Like getting the insider secrets before you even
Yeah.
step on the train.
Right. By the end of this, you should feel much more prepared. So let's start at the beginning. Getting on board and finding your spot.
Okay, so first thing our source really stresses is managing your expectations about seating, especially on those long routes, the ones often using the superliner trains, the double-decker ones.
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
seen those. So you don't just wander on and snag any open seat.
Not usually, no.
Yeah.
On those long hauls, the conductor typically assigns you a seat when you board.
Ah, okay. So you got to be ready to sit, well, wherever they put you, pretty much.
Yeah.
Not necessarily by the window.
Exactly, you don't always get to choose. Now, if you're traveling with someone, they'll usually seat you together, which is good. But solo travelers might be next to a stranger.
And our source mentions some seats are, let's say, less desirable than others.
Definitely. They're number one spot to avoid if you can. The seats right near the doors between the train cars.
Oh, I can imagine. People going back and forth, the doors opening and closing. Must be noisy and drafty.
Bingo. Constant interruptions, lots of noise.
Yeah.
So their big tip here is simple but crucial. Always pack noise-canceling headphones or at least good earplugs.
Right. If you end up there, you'll be thanking yourself for packing those.
Oh yeah, lifesaver.
Okay, so seat location aside, what about your stuff? Your luggage goes somewhere else, right? What do you absolutely need with you?
This is super important. Yeah, your big bags are checked or stored on racks downstairs usually. You need a smaller bag like a backpack right there at your seat. Our source basically calls it your essential survival kit.
Your survival kit backpack. Okay, break it down for us. What's in the kit according to the expert traveler?
Right, the must-haves. Any medications you need, obviously. A couple of bottles of water. Wet wipes, surprisingly useful, they say.
Oh, I bet, for quick freshen ups.
Exactly. A change of clothes for, after you've tried to sleep. A sleeping mask, vital, because the lights don't fully go off. Earplugs or headphones, like we said.
Mhm.
Toothbrush, toothpaste. And importantly, something non-digital for entertainment.
Like a book or cards. Because the Wi-Fi isn't reliable.
You got it. Don't count on the Wi-Fi for hours of streaming. Have a backup.
That makes sense. That list covers the basics for sure. What about like security, feeling safe with your valuables while you're asleep in a seat?
Yeah, they have a neat little trick for that. They wear a fanny pack.
A fanny pack, okay.
Yeah. Sounds a bit retro, but practical. They keep their wallet, phone, maybe ID or passport right in there, strapped to them while they sleep, just for that extra peace of mind.
That's actually pretty smart.
Yep.
Simple. And is there generally enough space around the coach seats for this backpack and, yourself?
Yeah, they mentioned the legroom in Amtrak coach is usually pretty good, definitely better than a plane. And there's typically decent space under the seat in front to slide that backpack.
Okay, so you're in your assigned seat, survival kit stashed. How do you make that seat actually comfortable for sleeping and just chilling for hours on end?
Right, comfort is key. Our source is big on bringing your own stuff, pillows, blankets, maybe even slippers. But here's the pro tip. Don't lug full-size bedding.
Ah, go for the travel versions, like inflatable pillows, small blankets.
Exactly. Think compact. Inflatable pillows are great. Small travel blankets. They even mention having a specific 2B puffer jacket that folds up into a neck pillow.
Oh, multitasking items. Smart.
Yeah, serves as a pillow and a blanket. Saves a ton of space.
Nice. And layers, right? I've heard trains can get surprisingly cold.
Definitely. Always bring layers. The temperature can really vary, and it often gets cool at night. So comfort clothes you can actually sleep in are essential. They seem to go in slip-on shoes.
Slip-on shoes. Why specifically slip-ons?
Think about it, middle of the night, you need the restroom down the aisle.
Yeah.
You don't want to be fumbling with laces in the dark, right? Just slip them on and go.
Huh. Okay, yeah, that makes total sense. Small detail, big difference. All right, comfort. What about power for devices? That's huge these days.
Absolutely critical for a long trip. And this is where they say a portable charger, like a power bank, is your best friend.
Even though the seats have outlets.
Yeah, most seats do have outlets, which is great. But if you're in the aisle seat, you don't want to run your cord across your seatmate, right? It's awkward.
Right. Tripping hazard. Annoying for them. Yeah.
Exactly. The portable charger means you can juice up your phone or tablet right there in your lap no matter where you are, without bothering anyone. Definitely bring your laptop charger too, for when you can use an outlet easily, but that power bank, non-negotiable for flexibility.
Okay, portable charger. Got it. So we've covered seating, essentials, comfort, power. Let's talk food. That can really make or break a long journey. What's the food strategy?
Food strategy is, yeah, super critical according to our source. They're very clear. Forget the fancy dining car experience unless you've booked a private room. That's not really for coach passengers.
So coach relies on the cafe car.
Pretty much, yeah. The cafe car is your main option provided by Amtrak.
And based on all those trips, what's the strong advice there?
Bring
Yeah.
your own food. I cannot stress this enough. Pack a cooler with stuff you actually like to eat.
Really? Just bypass a cafe car entirely?
Well, not necessarily bypass it completely, maybe grab a coffee or something, but don't rely on it for all your meals. The selection might be limited, maybe not what you fancy, or things can go wrong.
Here.
They mentioned one trip where the cafe's credit card machine was broken for ages.
Oh, wow. Okay, so packing your own is like insurance. What kind of food travels well and doesn't feel, sad and cold? How do you make it feel special?
This is where they get kind of gourmet.
Right.
They suggest packing things that make it feel like a treat, like nice cheeses, fresh fruit, good nuts, maybe some prosciuttos or olives, marinated artichokes, quality crackers.
Okay, like a little picnic on the train.
Exactly. Boiled eggs for protein, maybe some fancy chocolate. Oh, and a can of pre-made cold brew coffee for the morning. It elevates the whole experience.
That sounds way better than a squished sandwich. How do they pack all this? A specific cooler setup?
Yeah, they use a compact cooler, like a purse-sized one. I mentioned finding one at Costco that actually slides over their luggage handle. Clever. And it has sections.
Sections. For what?
Like one line part for the food itself and another for utensils, napkins, maybe little packets of salt and pepper, that kind of stuff. Keeps it organized.
Very organized. And keeping it cold for days, how does that work?
Brilliant trick here. Freeze a water bottle solid before you leave. It acts as your ice pack.
Ah, and then you can drink the water as it melts.
You got it.
Hmm.
And once it's melted, they refill it with ice from the cafe car if needed to keep things cool longer. They also recommend using plastic bags inside for trash. Keeps it tidy.
That frozen water bottle trick is genius. And they even manage to get local food sometimes.
Yeah, this is a really cool part. Train travel gives you these longer stops sometimes, maybe 20, 30 minutes in certain cities. They actually use that time to pop out near the station and find local goodies.
Seriously? Like what?
They gave examples. In Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, they found fresh salads and an Amish soft pretzel nearby. In Tuscaloosa, Alabama, they grabbed some local raw cheese, figs, and boiled peanuts.
That is such a fantastic way to break up the journey and taste the places you're passing through. Love that.
Isn't it? But they do add one important courtesy note about food.
Let me guess. Nothing too smelly.
You nailed it. Be considerate of your fellow passengers. Maybe leave the super pungent cheese or the tuna salad at home.
Good call. Okay, so you're settled, comfy, fed with delicious, non-stinky food. Now it's time to actually enjoy the ride itself, right? The views.
Yes, exactly. After all that prep, settle in. Our source emphasizes how unique the perspective is from a train. You see parts of the country you'd never see from a highway or a plane. And that rhythmic motion, the clack-clack, it can be really relaxing.
And where's the best place on the train to soak all that in?
Hands down the observation car. If your train has one, they say spend as much time there as you can.
What's special about it?
Big panoramic windows, sometimes curving up into the ceiling, comfy seats, often facing outwards, tables sometimes, lots of natural light. It's just designed for sightseeing.
Sounds amazing. Good place to hang out.
Definitely. Great for watching the scenery, but also good for meeting other travelers if you feel like chatting. They suggest bringing your book, maybe your laptop, some of those nice snacks.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's especially beautiful around sunset.
I can imagine. Okay, but eventually sunset leads to nighttime and the reality of trying to sleep in a coach seat.
Yeah, the sleeping challenge. They acknowledge it can be tough, but based on their experience, it's absolutely doable. You can get decent rest.
What are their must-do tricks for making sleep happen?
Okay, number one, eye mask. Non-negotiable. The aisle lights stay on dimly all night. you need total darkness.
Got it. Eye mask. What about noise? We mentioned headphones earlier.
Yeah, earplugs work for some, but our source actually prefers using a meditation app on their phone.
An app. Interesting. Why?
They find that playing gentle noises, like rain sounds or soft music through their headphones, does a better job of masking inconsistent sounds like doors opening, people talking quietly, than just earplugs. Creates a kind of consistent sound bubble.
That's a smart modern solution. And physically, how do they set up the seat?
Pretty standard stuff. Recline the seat all the way back, pop up the footrest or leg rest if it has one, then it's eye mask on, headphones in, and they find the gentle rocking of the train usually does the rest.
Hopefully sends you off to sleep. Okay, so you manage to sleep. Morning comes. You feel probably a bit rumpled. How do you freshen up?
Ah, yes. The morning after. This is where another key discovery comes in handy. The regular coach bathrooms, usually downstairs on the superliners, are, well, small.
Like airplane bathroom small.
Pretty much. Our source found them way too cramped to comfortably change clothes or really wash up properly.
Okay, so where do you go? You can't stay in yesterday's clothes forever.
It took them a few trips apparently to find this, but it's a game changer. The dressing room.
Wait, there's a dressing room in coach?
Yes. On many of the long-distance trains, especially the superliners, it's usually at the end of the car, past the regular restrooms on the lower level. It's a much bigger space.
Bigger how? What's in there?
Often, it's the full width of the car. They usually have a toilet, a sink, counter space, a mirror, and importantly, a sitting area, and just room to move.
Wow. That sounds incredibly useful. Way better than trying to change in the tiny loo.
Exactly. It gives you the space you need to actually brush your teeth comfortably, wash your face properly, and, yeah, change into fresh clothes without feeling like a contortionist. It's kind of a hidden gem for coach passengers on long trips.
That is a fantastic tip. Okay, so wrapping this all up then, we've done a real deep dive here into making that long Amtrak coach trip work based on someone who's truly mastered it.
Yeah, the big takeaways are pretty clear, I think. Preparation is everything knowing about the seating, packing that essential bag right, planning for comfort and power.
And the food strategy. Bring your own good stuff. Use those station stops.
Definitely. And then actually enjoying the journey, taking advantage of the observation car, appreciating the views, and finally knowing those tricks for sleeping better and finding that amazing dressing room to freshen up.
It feels like applying these tips really could change the whole experience, doesn't it? Make it less about just getting through it and more about, well, the journey itself.
Absolutely. It transforms it from potential misery into a potentially really cool adventure.
We really hope this deep dive gives you the confidence and the practical tools to plan your own amazing train trip across the country.
And hey, if you found this useful, please do give us a like and subscribe. It really helps us figure out what kind of deep dives you want more of.
Yeah, and definitely let us know in the comments if there are other topics you'd like us to explore. We love getting suggestions.
We do.
So, here's a final thought to chew on. In our world that's so obsessed with getting everywhere faster, what if the real point of a long train ride isn't just the destination, but the chance it gives you to actually slow down, watch the world unfold, and just be on the journey? Something you don't really get flying or driving.